Welcome to the 2020 Deeps Position Clinic as part of your camp. Fortunately, we can't do this in person, but hopefully you can get just as much out of it in this virtual presentation as if you could if we were still here. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. But here's the itinerary. We're going to do it says new kickoff mechanics. Really, it's just new coverage. We've changed the coverage areas that we're going to do. We're going to look at some uncommon kickoff plays. We're going to look at our scrimmage kick coverage. And then we're going to look at some key coverage. So let's take a look at the new coverage areas. Alright, we have new kickoff mechanics this year. So you can see crew of 6. We have new ones, crew of 7 as well. But let's focus on the crew of 6 right now. So for crew of 6, everyone's going to line up the same way we have been doing. But we're going to go to zones, areas of coverage, as opposed to just how we used to do it, where you had your numbered guys. So the deeps, your area of coverage is going to be hashed to your sideline. So in a crew of 6, in a high school field, everything's divided equally, so that by hashes. So between the hashes is the same width as outside the hashes. So crew of 6, field judge, side judge, you have the hash to your sideline all the way down to about the 30, 25, however the play takes you. So you can see on the diagram, that is your area coverage. And you're just going to do like you normally do. Once ball hits leather, your foot hits leather, you're gonna jog about 5-10 yards downfield, stop, and just watch your area coverage. So you can kind of see how everything goes. And obviously, just like with everything else, you want to officiate the threats. But for the most part, we're going to stay in our area coverage. And this is for a normal kickoff down the middle. If you have one straight toward the corner, you'll shift it a little bit. You may narrow your area coverage, probably still keep it to about the 30 to 25. But as far as the width of your area coverage, narrow it down. Maybe you'll take just, about halfway between the hash and the numbers instead of the hash. But, just adjust with the kick. But for the most part, normal kickoff, this is what area coverage is going to be. And again, you're just once the ball's kicked, you're going to go your 5 or 10 yards, stop, set up shop, and just officiate the play. And of course, as always, we still have the goal line. We still don't want to get beat. It turns into reverse, not reverse paint, it's really just basic regular mechanics. Once the return happens, we're just, for the most part, watching our zone. Alright, let's look at one in real time. This is a crew of 6. So like we said, nothing changes positioning wise. So you're going to have your umpire, deeps at the R's restraining line. So you can see, you can't really see the deeps well, but you'll see once that ball is kicked, say it's just going to take a quick jog 5 or 10 yards down the field. And then we're just going to set up like we normally would. Our zone will be right here. Hash the sideline right in this area. And we're just going to watch it. So this kick is going to be a little bit to the side. Not down the middle. But as far as area coverage, this is where you would kind of shift it maybe a wee bit. So this would be the field judge on this side. He's still going to have about to the 25 or 30. But instead of hash to hash, he may bring it in a little bit from about right here and watch this area. And then the umpire will shift over a little bit. Everything kind of shifts over. And then when the ball's kicked, you're still just, you're officiating threats. So field judge, you'll be officiating this threat right here. And you're just going to stay with that. If the threat moves on, maybe you look for something else. But you're just going to officiate the threat. And that's all it is. It's not much. It's not much of a change. I would argue we've kind of been doing it anyway, just unofficially. We're really just codifying it. But I think you'll like it, make it a little bit easier. I don't think we'll miss as much as we have been on kickoffs. overall. Alright, let's look at some unusual kickoff plays. I'm going to slow this one down for you to really see it, but it's going to be this is a free kick, and it's going to be caught in the air by K, who then goes out of bounds. So K thinks they have the ball, or he went out of bounds. But remember, that's not the rule. On a free kick, this is kick catch interference, because the ball has to go 10 yards at least and touch the ground. And in this case, it just goes to 10 yards. So this is going to be kick catch interference. So rather than K get the ball where it goes out at, R actually has three choices, because other than this being kick catch interference, it's also first touching by K. So R can take the first touching, so they'll take the results of, or they'll take the ball at the spot of the first touching. They can take the result of the play, or they can accept the 15-yard penalty for KCI. And to take the distance penalty, it's their choice to have the penalty enforced either from the spot of the foul or to have enforced from the previous spot and re-kick. So those are three choices by R. So from a positioning standpoint, deep's a little too close to this action here. When you read the ball is short, it's going to be a short kick. Don't be in such a hurry to move downfield that 10 or 15 yards we tell you to. Kind of shuffle a couple yards and just kind of get in position and kind of see what happens. Because when you're this close, it's really hard for you to kind of see everything that's going on. So don't move down so far on this one. We want you to be in a position where you can see if it's muffed, but don't be so close to the play that you can't see what's happening. Alright, this is a play from the state final, so we're in a crew of 7. Alright, so the discussion on this play on whether this is considered a kick out of bounds. And there's even some arguments some are making that this should be illegal participation, but it's neither one of those. The correct rule in here is this is just R's ball right there about the 8 or 9. So remember, if R touches the ball in play, or touches the ball while it's in the field of play, then it's not a kick out of bounds. So he touches the ball here when he's still got his feet on the ground in bounds. Then he just recovers it. So this is just R's ball where it is, which is what the crew said. R's ball at 8 or 9. And this is one you don't really want to overthink this too much. This is one of those where it just is what it appears to be. Now, one thing I will say, let's make sure this coach, this is not just a little out of the box. This is way out of the box. Let's keep these coaches in the box. Here you can have an end zone shot of it. You can see when he touches the ball, he's still in bounds, feet are down. And then he just kind of lands out. But this is what it is. This is what it looks like. Don't overthink this. This is just R's ball right there at the 8 or 9. There's another wonky one. Now it is legal for R to take this, even though it hasn't gone 10 yards. R can take that. So the umpire over there, kind of a tough situation. You're just kind of caught. You just do what you can. But back judges, you have the goal line in this scenario. So, and you're the one that has the best chance to get back there, rather than the deep. So, even though we're in expecting onside kick, we're in that onside kick mechanic. Once you read this is going to happen, you just start hustling and make your way to the goal line, because we need you at the goal line on this. I need you to be there ready to roll. All right, we always want to be expecting an onside kick. This is very early in the game. I think this is just right after the first touchdown, the first quarter. Now remember, when we have an onside kick, we treat that cage restraining line like a plane. No part of any K's body can be over that plane before foot hits the ball. And here we got about at least 3, maybe 4 players. Now, the kicker can be over the plane. That's fine. But, he's over. His head's probably over. He may be over. He's definitely over. So we have a lot of players off sides here. And I don't think it was called in this situation. And you see K recovers the ball when it should have been an offsides. And this, when we kill this immediately, when they're offsides, we kill it. All right, I get this question a lot. What if it's not an onside kick, but it's a little pooch kick like this is? Do you still treat that ball as a plane? And I'm just going to say use your judgment on this one. If you think they're trying to kick it short in an effort to get the ball, then treat it as a plane. If it's just a pooch kick because they don't really have a good kicker, then, give a little bit of leniency. But like in this game, both these teams have been doing this onside kick the whole game. So at this point, definitely okay with killing it. Because if they're doing a little short kick like that, especially after they've been doing onside kick after onside kick, and then they do a little pooch kick, if they're over, yeah, kill it. Pop them 5 yards and re-kick. But the typical rule of thumb, if you think they're kicking it short in an effort to get the ball, then we're gonna treat the cage restraining line as a plane. Let's just talk a little bit about scrimmage kicks. We don't have to get too far into it. Because crew of 6, we've kind of beat it to death over the past few years. There's a couple of things I want to look at though in regards to scrimmage kicks. We'll look at positioning, this one just to look at it. But this is pretty good on a field judge. Remember, we're on the field about 5 yards behind the receiver, 9 yards wide. But we adjust as the kick adjusts. So this kick is coming to the sideline, and we see we're going to adjust to it. So what I want to talk about on this one is when a kick ceases to become a kick, when it becomes a recovered kick by the returner. We want to apply the kind of the same logic and philosophies that we would for a catch. So we want possession and control. You got to have both. Just like you got to have both to have a catch, you got to have both to recover a kick. So we're going to look at this one here. So let's slow it down. Does this meet the criteria for a recovered kick? Does he have possession and control? Here we have possession, but I don't think we quite have control. The timing that it pops out, he doesn't move it really. So to me, this is not going to be possession and control. So this is just going to be a muff. This is not a recovery. You can see it goes out of bounds. So we have a muff ball out of bounds. It's just going to be our ball from, looks like maybe the 48. That's all that's going to be. So remember, apply the same criteria that you would for a catch. All right, let's talk a little bit about invalid fair catch. This is a crew of 7, so disregard that. But what I want to look at here is if a returner gives this signal, this is the getaway signal. If he gives that signal and then he picks the ball up to return it, this is an invalid fair catch. And basically the criteria for an invalid fair catch is any signal that's not a valid fair catch signal is an invalid fair catch. That's in the rule book. If you go by the ratings guide, it would back that up. So any signal that's not a valid fair catch is going to be an invalid fair catch. So we're going to kill this where it is, and by rule it's a 5-yard penalty for an invalid fair catch. The important thing here is we are killing this. And I know he's going to say this is not, that wasn't he wasn't trying to give a fair catch. Doesn't matter. If you give the getaway signal and then you pick the ball up to return it, that is an invalid fair catch. Because again, the rule book says any signal that's not a valid fair catch is an invalid fair catch, which is exactly what this is. So again, we're going to kill it, and by rule, the penalty for invalid fair catch is a 5-yard penalty. All right, let's just quickly hit on some keys in coverage and your typical pass plays. So we see this a lot, this formation where you're going to have 3 out wide. And this is usually going to be some type of bubble screen or something. So in a crew of 6, how we're going to cover this is you want to officiate threats. We're always looking at the threats. So initial key usually is going to be our widest guy. That's always our initial key. And we still want to keep that. But also just kind of glance and look at your spacing. So you see here, your initial key, defender's 10 yards off of him. This inside key, defender's a little bit closer. So maybe this is going to be a threat. And then you even go even further inside, and he really didn't have anyone on him. So we want to keep an eye on him, but we also, this is probably going to be our threat. So as this play develops, snap of the ball, peek at that guy, at the wide guy, your initial key, but then go in here too, because this is where the threat is going to happen, and this is where we're going to see something, and then you'll see that. And as a deep, you really you have a better angle of that, whether or not that's a block in the back or not. It's not. It's to the side, and then once you get over that initial one, now we're going to go over here and go back to our key, our initial key, and see whether or not that's a good block. It is. And we're good there. So initial key, yeah, that outside guy. But if he's not being covered at all, there's really no threat there, then quickly peek in here at the snap to where you probably are going to have a threat. Then you can see that, and then once that clears, you can bring your attention to the block there. Same thing out here. This is going to be your initial key. A little bit closer back, so we want to stay on him too. But we just want to know in our head, we gotta be quick to kind of cover them both. So snap of the ball, peek at your guy here, kind of see where it's playing. You see there's not really going to be a threat. Now go to this where there is a threat and help out that wing and see if a lot of times we can get a better view sometimes too. We can see that's to the side, it's not in the back. Now we can bring our attention here and watch that there. Good call, no holding. That's just good blocking. Feet, there's no grab, feet are good, and then when the feet are beat, there's no grab again. So all that's good. What I want to look at here is catch on the sideline. Nope, never mind. Wrong play. Couple things. This is a catch on the sideline. I also want you to look at the side judge here at the bottom. When we talk about read steps, this is a lot of times what we're talking about. We don't want you at the snap just taking off downfield. We want to read step, just 1 or 2 steps, walking back, get a feel for the play, and see what you have to do. See, this is a run up the middle. So you see the side judge is going to take 1 or 2 steps back, read the play, going to run up the middle so he doesn't have to just take off. Then he's going to stop and officiate the play and come in. That's really how we want you to do it. I know what it is I want to look at here. OPI on this inside guy. So again, we want to look at threats. Crew of 6, we're going to look at our threats. This is not a threat. Nothing really going on here. He's pressed, so this is a wee bit more of a threat. Alright, to me this is offensive pass interference. I know there's no contact, but this is designed, and there's a little bit of contact. Hard to say who initiated it, but this is a design screen, and it's essentially blocking downfield. You know, there's some contact if we want to get nitty gritty, but this is designed. He meant to run into him. He's not running a route. That was a block. He was designed to free him. That is offensive pass interference. I have a really high bar for offensive pass interference, as we should, but I think this is designed, and I think that's outside the rules of the game, in my opinion. But that's just me. All right, that's all I got for this. Thank you. This is, Varsity Camp, shorter video, but hopefully you got enough out of it and everything that you need. So thank you and good luck in the season.